wanted to show that, guys, like to show the background. Because honestly, about this movie, what I'm going to talk about, it's just something. It's really good. It definitely is really good. What is going on, Berlin Empire here, guys? To give you a video, I want to do a little bit of a talking of a movie that I saw already for a while, but then I was like, man, really in the state of where we're at now, I was like, maybe it makes sense to do the review. We'll see. And I wanted to talk about a bit, Tom Hanks. He's a really good actor. He's a good actor, isn't like when you want the kind of performance you would want from him, he delivers it, and it's nice. It's charming. Many best. He's won the awards. He for his profession has earned the right to be like he's a good actor. He really is. He's outstanding. And in this one, there's no exception for that. He delivers in this movie too. And A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood is, if you know about Mr. Rogers and all, and if you've seen the show, depending, it doesn't matter the decade, the age, reruns. If you saw reruns, I think I remember seeing maybe a bit, but I can't be like I'm a full fan, but I appreciate it. And when I look back, I can be like, yeah, this guy really just had it like a work of art. At least what he presented, kind of like with Tom Hanks, he was really good. And Tom Hanks now kind of tells sort of the story of him. He kind of plays him, and it's interesting because it's like tell from a reporter, so it all varies if you know what you're going yourself into. You're like, hey, I wanted more of a biopic, so it all depends if you're disappointed or if you're not disappointed. But it's in the eyes from the reporter. But what's interesting about it is that it's still Tom Hanks' movie, but you have to kind of see the way he kind of makes the reporter understand what he's coming from. And it's that kind of like tale. It's that tale, and it just follows the creation of what Tom Hanks has done with the show, with the Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I think it's what's called Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, or at least that's what the movie is. But his show Rogers, for Mr. Rogers and all, it shows the way he has this scoop, and he has to kind of tell him, and throughout these interviews of who he is, the reporter tries to get the best out of him, and it shows up what went on of how he builds the show, and then how still he is as a person, realizing that some things might be so polished for a story, but still with the way I viewed this movie, judging this movie, and so it shows that some people really are like, don't you have a bad day? What goes on? Like, don't you sometimes crack when you can? And they try to and all, but no, sometimes the best in humanity is just to kind of oversee it, just to be the better person. And the lessons there, it's not like everybody's perfect at all, but I do enjoy the movie. Where like it felt very Lifetime-ish, a bit Lifetime sometimes, but still for the message of the film, maybe it needed to be that kind of charming film. It had to be kind of like that good feel movie, because at least with the character of what it brings of him, and Tom still being the way he's a likable actor in that kind of way, where his performances are good, like just like what I said, it's just he's really good. And it shows though, like what kind of lessons like we need, that it is fun to just try to be as good for each other, in the common sense, when you don't need to get all, when it's not too personal, just try to be there for one another. Try to be there for one another and all. And it was still a nice movie to kind of enjoy. Like, the enjoyment of the film, the atmosphere was really fun and likable. Yeah, and so I will say, like, it's those two actors that play those characters that make the movie. Everybody else really complements them. Like I said, the film isn't as like a full, like it feels a bit like Cable. It feels a bit like Cable, but I still enjoyed the aspect of the full length film, seeing it in theaters and all. So there's criticism of that. The story isn't as interesting if it's not with them. It's not as intriguing. It's really sold from those two actors and their characters. That is what goes on, and at least from them, like the reporter isn't. You start to understand. He's not likable from the beginning, but he gets more likable throughout, and that's the process with what goes on with Hanks. With him, he gets the best, and he does a good job embodying or impersonating the character. So it's nice like that, and it works, and it shows that there is this still of a sort of a little cerebral approach of again, like why can't someone like. Why can't you break? Or what is this? Or what are you hiding? Sometimes people just want to see the best in people. So even though the film could have been better, it's still, like if you had the hype, like this could be Oscar contention and all, as you know what was the final results. It really was just a really good film. It still could have been better. but with these characters running with it and kind of giving like they show they care, so it shows that you should have an interest. Then that's what makes it really special. And at least the theme of the movie's still there. So yeah, like as long as they think it's special and you think it's special, and then still seeing the fun and the likeness of this film, it really is a really good time, and that's what makes it really just enjoyable. If I had to do a ranking for this, I really would like for the Spirit to be like an A or A minus, but it really is a solid like B plus or a B minus kind of film. But let me know, guys, if you guys enjoyed the movie, if you didn't like it, if you thought maybe it could have been better, or if you enjoyed it and it's really was a movie that you just really enjoyed a lot. Again, guys, these are my thoughts and opinions. So all this in the comments below, and as always, roll an empire, laugh, smile, repeat.